Just say smile for me, daddy. What you looking at? Come on. Let me see your grill. Let me see my what? Your grill. Your grill. Rob the jewelry store and tell them make me a grill. She said smile for me, daddy. What you looking at? I wanna see your grill. You wanna see my what? Your grill.
Hello everyone, my name is Raymond Towell. I'm 22 years old and barbecuing is my passion. Ever since my father brought me to the grill and let me flip my first hamburger, when I saw those flames and I heard that sizzle, my mouth just watered and I knew that barbecuing is something that I want to do forever. When I was 12 years old, my mother's best friend asked if I could come over and grill for their family. I said, what the heck, I'll give it a shot. I ended up loving every minute of it. It didn't seem like work to me. And when I was 12 years old, I wasn't getting paid anything big. It was $10 an hour. And the truth, I was never looking to make it into a business. It's something that I love to do and something that I'll always be doing. I graduated high school. I went to Johnson & Wales University for the culinary arts. I mastered a 4-year degree in culinary nutrition and food science. So I do love barbecue and I also love science. And food is my number one passion. So what did I do with that? I decided to mix my science career with my barbecue career. And now I think I have some of the most innovative and most creative recipes out there. Right now you're looking at my backyard, which is located in the heart of the Flatbush community. Flatbush happens to be a very special place in Brooklyn. Not only is it only a mile away from the legendary Coney Island, which by the way I love to go to, but it's also home of one of the largest Jewish Syrian communities in the country. And that makes me very proud to be in the heart of Flatbush. As you can see, my backyard happens to be fairly large for a Brooklyn-based backyard. I've hosted parties for over 100 people in this backyard. You may see that in the middle of this backyard, there's this brown hut. You happen to be catching me in the middle of a holiday called Sukkot, where we need to eat outside in these huts. But don't worry, that won't be there for the party, of course. People have always asked me, Ray, what's your favorite item to cook on the grill? And the truth, in my opinion, I feel like that's not a fair question. If you're a culinarian and if you're a person who loves food, such as I do, and if you're a person who loves to cook and loves to be on the grill, there's no way you can limit yourself to saying, there's only one thing that I like to cook. But at the end of the day, I do have to give those people an answer. So I guess what you could say my ace in the hole would be is my sous vide / barbecued filet mignon. What I have over here is something called a sous vide cooker or an immersion circulator. So what I like to do with my filet mignon is I vacuum pack them in my special secret barbecue sauce that, yes, I have been selling since I was 12 years old. If you need any, give me a call. So by vacuum packing my steaks, it not only enhances the flavor of the steak because it's all of my juice is being pushed back into the steak, but it also helps to have a perfect cooking when in this sous vide cooker. So right now, let's lift off our top. We're gonna put this in the cooker. Mind you, I have two, one for me and one for my cameraman, who happens to also be my assistant, Ralph. Ralph has been with me and the company for the last 5 years, and we work really, really well together. But at the end of the day, he's an assistant, right, Ralph? Okay, so we have our sous vide cooker in here. I'm gonna set my alarm for 1 hour so that at least I know that I could start the next process in an hour. If I left this in here for 2 hours, so like I said before, it's very tough to choose one ace in the hole. So I'd like to show you a couple more items. Over here is my smoker. Now this is a propane powered smoker, meaning that the pilot that runs this smoker works on gas, other than what other people might use, electric or nothing at all, and they just might. These are beef ribs. Now as you can see, I've already rubbed them with my Cajun spice. My Cajun spice happens to be a little secretive. It's not just another spice you could buy at the store. There's a lot of time, love, and effort that went into this spice, so I'd rather not share it with everyone. You're gonna have to come to the party in order to taste these ribs. So we're just gonna bring the rack out a little bit, and we're gonna put these ribs right on the rack. Now I don't know if you could get this, Ralph, but over here is a water pan. So you could either put water in here or any type of liquid. What I have in here is apple cider. So what happens is as this smoker starts to get hot, the apple cider gets hot and it starts to evaporate into the smoker, and it will give moisture to my ribs, being that they're going to be in there for quite some time. So I don't want them to dry out. Dry ribs are bad ribs. So now if you can see, there is my pilot. So that's what's going to keep the heat in my smoker going, so that I make sure to keep my ribs at a safe temperature, which is above 141 degrees. So my smoker is going to stay at around 200 degrees. I really don't want to let it go above 225 degrees. The last thing I wanted to share with you guys was my za'atar crusted lamb chops. Now you might say to yourself, I have no idea what za'atar is. The truth, I have no idea also. But it's a Middle Eastern spice that has a lot of goodness and a lot of love in it. So that's why I love to use it on my lamb chops. Let's talk about the grill first. I have your standard gas grill. I'm going to open it up. I have 4 burners over here, and I have a nice searing station over here. The searing station is what I like to use for my steaks, and you'll see that when I have to take the sous vide filet mignons out and sear those. But for right now, I'm going to put the lamb chops on my regular gas grill. Now when I have a party and when I do catering for huge events, I don't bring this little puppy with me. I bring a bad boy with me. We're talking a 6-foot charcoal grill. Charcoal is how I like it. Here, I don't encrust the eye, because at the end of the day, I want you to be able to love the lamb meat. But I do encrust the side. So what's going to happen now with the nice heat and fire from the grill is you're going to get a beautiful crust and a beautiful aromatic taste from the spice after it gets heated on the fire. So that's why I love these lamb chops. So as you can see, I'm putting my lamb chops on like this so that I could take full advantage of the space on the grill. And I wish you guys could be here by the grill. I could just hear these lamb chops sizzling with such happiness. Now we're gonna lift the top to this barbecue, and I don't know, maybe Ralph could get some sound in over here. You could hear the nice love affair that these lamb chops are having with this barbecue. Now to plate this, how I usually work it is I'll have endives that are quartered and marinated in olive oil, garlic, salt, and pepper. I take those endives and I give them a nice grill char on this grill so that they get a beautiful presentation lines, a nice charry taste, and the bitterness from the endive really works well with the richness of these lamb chops. But I wasn't able to get bottom of this plate. You would put the endive over here, and then you would go across the top like that with your lamb chop. And then you might say, well, Ray, you love to mix science and barbecue together. So what's so scientific about this dish? And I'll answer you and say that usually how I'm going to serve this dish is after I have the endive and after I have these beautiful lamb chops, I'm going to put a handmade balsamic caviar on top. Now that balsamic and the acid that you get from there gives it a sweetness and gives it a palate cleansing type taste while still eating these lamb chops. And there you have it, za'atar crusted lamb chops. Right now, my filet mignons have been in this immersion circulator or the sous vide cooker for a little bit over an hour. As you can see, it's dark outside, so time has passed. And so we're gonna lift this up. Here's my sear station. If you could come, Ralph, and if you could hear the sear, it's beautiful. We got the smoke going on. I'm gonna close it so that it stays hot, and we're gonna sear it for about 30 seconds each way. Now, okay. Now we're gonna flip my steak. Wow. Look at those grill marks right there. Now that makes a beautiful presentation. And this is my filet mignon. Now if you wanted to see the effect that the sous vide had on the inside of the steak, we're gonna open it up right now. I'm gonna open this up right down the center. And now I don't know about you, but that is a perfectly cooked piece of meat. There is no difference, there's no gradient. Everything over here is a perfect medium rare. You have the little bit of crust right there. There's no raw spots, there's no well done spots. You have a perfectly grilled / sous vide filet mignon. Okay, so it's been about 4 hours that our ribs have been in this smoker. I've been basting it every half hour with the apple cider vinegar, and that's been keeping it juicy and really tenderizing my meat. So now let's do the unveiling and see what we have over here. Oh yeah. Now you can see how those ribs are nice and soft. See that? They're very soft, and when we cut them you'll really be able to see how fall off the bone tender they are. And then you could also, and we're just gonna cut. Yeah. Look at that right there. Practically cuts itself. There we go. Now if you wanted to in order to serve this and in order to put different textures and different colors in with this dish, I usually do a braised red cabbage recipe. Sometimes I'll take the juices that are left from the actual ribs itself and I'll throw it into the pan with the cabbage and I'll start braising the cabbage. I'll use that as like a sockle for my ribs, and it makes for a beautiful presentation. Well, again, I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I hope you enjoyed all the recipes that you've seen. I really had a great time cooking them, showing them, and showing you what I'm capable of doing, and I really hope that I could be the one to host the party. Thanks, and have a
Just say smile for me, daddy. What you looking at? Come on.